Good evening. Around 36,000 people joined rallies this afternoon to express their anger at the Executive Council's decision to reject Hong Kong Television's free-to-air license application. Many are still camped outside the government's offices at Tamar, and some are threatening to stay there until the next EXCO meeting on Tuesday. Hundreds of angry protesters gathered outside the government's headquarters in Tamar this evening, demanding authorities give them a reason why a free-to-air license wasn't granted to Hong Kong Television. Many of them are former and current employees of the network, and 60 say they will stay overnight. Some protesters are also planning to extend the sit-in until Tuesday, when the Executive Council hosts its weekly meeting. They say they'll play some of the dramas and programs produced by HKTV. "We want justice and our dreams back," chanted these protesters who marched to Tamar from the Central Ferry piers. The government announced granting pay TV providers cable TV and PCCW licenses on Tuesday, but rejected HKTV's application, despite the fact that a whopping $1 billion had already been pumped into program production and operations. Its boss, outspoken media tycoon Ricky Wong, vowed to seek a judicial review on the decision, while Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying and his officials have repeatedly refused to give the reason why HKTV was rejected, citing the confidentiality of Executive Council meetings. Since then, HKTV has fired 320 staff, more than half its workforce. While the fate of the staff still working at HKTV is unknown, those who showed up today, some already sacked, say they're not even thinking about their next step. They just want to know why the government came to this decision.
As I'm fired and waiting for another job opportunity, but at this moment we want the most, and our plan would be the reason for not having the license. I'm sad, I'm shocked, but I don't blame for the company.
We are very angry for the whole industry. It lowers all our morals in terms of why we are still in the creative industry. We are doing all the good things for the to entertain the Hong Kong people and to support the media industry.
Critics, including the Hong Kong Film Directors Guild, have said rejecting HKTV a license is a blow to the city's already diminishing creative industry. Locals who came out today said they simply want more channels to choose from.
We can't see any television, the program made by HKTV, that's very powerful.
I want to have more choice. I want to have my freedom to choose what I can watch.
Meanwhile, thousands gathered at the busiest junction of Causeway Bay in response to an internet campaign demanding the government to grant HKTV a free-to-air license. Most of them also wore black to support the network, holding signs and chanting slogans, accusing the government of not being transparent enough. Members of student group Scholarism had an argument with the police at one point, complaining that one lane on the road was not wide enough to fit in all the protesters. HKTV workers and lawmakers took turns giving speeches, some tearful, to address the emotional crowd gathered at Tamar. But HKTV boss Ricky Wong was nowhere to be seen. Tonight, Wong issued a statement online thanking the demonstrators for their support. He also called on Hong Kongers to unite and vowed to fight until the end. About a dozen people who support the government's decision not to grant HKTV a free-to-air license also turned up at Tamar this afternoon. They held a separate gathering on a walkway near government headquarters overlooking the rally in support of the company. They insist the Executive Council shouldn't have to justify all its decisions, and forcing it to do so could set a bad precedent and hurt the body's efficiency. The demonstrators liken the process to children applying for school places who aren't given an explanation when they're rejected. Justice Secretary Rimsky-Yoon insists that there are stringent procedures for issuing new free-to-air licenses, and EXCO hasn't done anything wrong. Yoon also responded to reports that a leaked document says there are no reasons to reject any of the applications. NSA reports.
There are no reasons for the government to reject any of the 3 applications for the new free-to-air TV licenses, according to a leaked government document being quoted in media reports. The reports have raised more questions about why the government only issued 2 new licenses. But Justice Secretary Rimsky-Yun told reporters today that the document was only one of several documents being considered during the selection process by government officials and EXCO members. Yun insists that the decision was made according to the proper procedures and based on the benefit to the public, and the cabinet had upheld its righteousness. He added that members, including himself, are required to follow EXCO's confidentiality system, so he could not disclose any more details. Yun's remarks were echoed by EXCO member Bernard Chan. Chan said the decision-making process was a lengthy one and considered several aspects, including expert reports, before coming up with the outcome. He added that because the issue is under a judicial review, it's not right for him to comment too much. Chan said he respects the public's views. Legislative Council President Zhang Yuxing said the confidentiality rule must be respected, but he believes the government should still give an explanation to the public.
I don't think it is necessary for the executive to disclose the proceedings of its meetings. We still have to abide by the rule of confidentiality. However, on that basis, I believe there is still room for the government to explore, to see to it that the public and the people concerned gets a good explanation of the government's decision.
Former EXCO member Selina Chow accused the government and the decision-making body of ignoring society's view on the issue. Chow said blaming confidentiality for not disclosing the reasons for rejecting Hong Kong TV's application is a bad move by the government, while lawmaker Ma Fung Kwok urged the government to explain why only 2 free-to-air licenses were issued to ease public dissatisfaction. Ma warned the administration not to drag its feet or the matter will get worse.
In other local news, 9 people were injured after being sprayed with corrosive liquid at a market in Chengsha this morning. A fruit stall owner was arrested on suspicion of carrying out the attack after an argument broke out between him and a rival vendor. Arthur Arciola reports.
The 53-year-old assailant in this morning's incident was among the injured taken to Paratus Medical Center for treatment. The others were taken in having been hit with corrosive liquid. 2 of the injured suffered first and second-degree burns and were later transferred to Queen Mary Hospital. A police sergeant who was investigating the case was also treated for injuries to his right arm. The incident happened at the Municipal Services Building on Chengsha Wan's Po On Road at around 10 a.m. The area was sealed off while it was inspected. Police questioned the people involved. Apparently, 2 owners of rival fruit stalls got into an argument when they were setting up for business. Witnesses said it was not the first time they had had a dispute. This stall owner said arguments are common as conditions can get cramped, and people get frustrated if the goods from other stalls are taking up their space. According to Leonard Ma, Assistant Divisional Commander in the district, the quarrel was over how goods should be placed. He said one of the stall owners grabbed a bottle of drain cleaner and sprayed it on the other stall, hitting 3 people who were working there and 4 others who were passing by. Officers were later seen taking evidence away for further investigation. Arthur Arciola, ATV News.
Health Chief Ko Ing-man says he is concerned that batches of a mainland Chinese herbal drinking tablet may have been contaminated. But he said the tablets have not been found here and authorities are continuing to look into the matter. Meanwhile, Ko said the screening process for the deadly drug-resistant superbug will be extended to other public hospitals, but on a smaller scale. Tests were conducted at Queen Elizabeth Hospital after a number of patients were infected. Overseas, Australian emergency services say that worsening weather conditions will make protecting communities from bushfires more difficult. Officials warn that the 3 main bushfires could become one huge blaze in the coming days, possibly threatening Sydney, as a state of emergency was declared in New South Wales. Anne Reeson reports.
The state of emergency comes as conditions look set to deteriorate, with soaring temperatures and strong winds expected to fan the flames in the coming days. The Blue Mountains, west of Sydney, has been the worst hit region, with some fires still raging out of control. New South Wales officials say these are the most dangerous conditions in 40 years. They added that the declaration would give emergency services additional powers for 30 days, which could include cutting gas and power supplies if needed.
But these powers include the right to order the public to leave or to enter an area, the right to shore up or demolish a building, and of course it also prevents people from disobeying an order given under these powers. I sincerely hope that this emergency declaration, which will last for 30 days unless revoked earlier, will not be needed. But it is about giving our emergency services, through the Rural Fire Service Commissioner, additional powers in the event that they're needed.
The Rural Fire Service said more than 60 bushfires are still burning, including several that are threatening communities.
This is a continuing, volatile, difficult, dangerous firefighting environment, and based on the forecast, based on the size of these fires, it's expected to become a whole lot worse yet.
More than 200 homes are thought to have been lost since the blazes took hold on Thursday. The country's Prime Minister Tony Abbott, himself a Rural Fire Service volunteer fireman, is said to be among the reinforcements.
At least 99 people have been hurt in a train crash at the same Buenos Aires station where a deadly accident killed dozens last year. But first, in a look at other international stories. A plane carrying a group of skydivers has crashed in Belgium, killing all 11 people on board.
A birthday present turned to tragedy in the skies over Belgium. A plane carrying 10 parachutists planning to celebrate a birthday with a skydive crashed 10 minutes after taking off from the Templu aerodrome near Namur. The Pilatus plane came down in the small village of Machavlet, 70 kilometres southeast of Brussels. A fire brigade spokesman confirmed all 11 people on board, aged between 20 and 40, were killed. 3 passengers tried to save themselves by jumping out of the plane, but they ran out of time. Belgium's King Philippe, Prime Minister Elio Di Rupo and Interior Minister Joël Milquet visited the crash site to find out more information from the emergency teams. Di Rupo and Milquet later explained that one of the wings came off, causing the plane to pitch and nosedive. Argentina's capital city suffered its 3rd serious rail accident in less than 2 years, when this train slammed into the end of the line yesterday morning local time. Dozens were hurt, some seriously, including an 8-year-old boy, but officials said none of the injuries was life-threatening. A mob quickly formed, unleashing its fury at the train operators. Passengers chanted "Murderer, murderer" at the injured driver through the shattered cabin window. Officers intervened and the driver was soon taken to hospital under police custody. Police in riot gear then took control of the Oncé station after the angry crowd broke glass and threw stones in the street outside. An investigation is underway, but the government was quick to suggest human error as the cause of the crash. The driver is 45 and highly experienced, according to his union. He was injured but not seriously, it said. The Oncé station is where 51 people died and 700 were injured in February last year, when a train slammed into a retaining wall. Nearly 100 residents were forced from their homes after a Canadian national tanker train carrying oil and gas derailed west of Edmonton, Alberta overnight. It caused fireballs to shoot into the sky and set off a state of emergency west of Edmonton.
They said the whole backyard lit up. So yeah, it was pretty scary. And a friend of ours, their house burnt down.
Evacuees who couldn't find friends or relatives to stay with were put up in nearby hotels and told to be prepared to be out of their homes for up to 2 days.
They've kind of helped each other out. It's a nice rural